everyone. Welcome to the weekly general reading on Sanskrit Blue Tarot. I'm Natalie. So I just wanted to come on. Okay, I'm back, and I'm just going to be totally real about what happened. I had an entirely full glass of water because I've been so in need of rehydration today. Sitting, obviously it was right here behind me, and wow. Never change the format of how you do things. A lot of my favorite books just got it. Well, the reason that I came up and I was popped up like this in the first place was because I really wanted to come on, and I still do feel this way. I did want to come on and just thank people. There have been so many kind comments and so much love offered about, about everything. So thank you. It means the world. It really does. It has been, I've just dropped another card. Some days are like this. The only thing you can do is laugh. Yeah, it's been that kind of a moment, but we keep moving forward. That's what we do. We just keep moving right forward. Yeah. It's been a tough time, but the support has been tremendous. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, all of you who have offered that support and love and an understanding. So it makes a huge difference. It really does. The water is now securely over there where I cannot elbow it and knock it off of my desk. This week, it will be the 8th of March. We're at daylight saving times. No wonder the time feels off. Okay, I somehow did not catch that we were going to be doing that. This is what it's been like the last week. I've been between worlds a lot. Okay. And this reading is for the 8th all the way through to the 14th. So how about that? All right. I'm going to read with the Spacious Tarot because we need some space. Thankfully, the cards did not get it with the water. That is a good thing. And I'm also going to be reading with the Messenger cards by Sandra Kunz. Here is our Fool. I always prep the Fool now. And let us bring the camera down to the level that we normally have. I have my candle all lit here and everything. All ready to go. Okay. On we go. Aha, so we're in pile 1 this week. That hasn't happened for a while. So when the Fool is located in the Wands piles, so just to review, Wands, Cups, Swords, and Pentacles. Okay, so we're in the Wands pile. It means that what we're dealing with in the coming week is going to be related to things that are spiritual, may also relate to our career, to the way that we're managing our career. It could be to do with creativity. In fact, since we're going to be doing this anyway, let's read the exact thing from the book. Okay, so on page 247 in Holistic Tarot, which is ultimately where I am taking all of the information that I use for this spread, or not all of it, a lot of the information I use for this spread, certainly for these meanings. This pile relates to personal development, health, and wellness. The seeker is asking about matters of personal development, such as work or career, could indicate an interest in beginning a new venture or carrying out a new idea. The pile also is associated with the physical, such as the body, health, or wellness issues. All right. One of the other ways in which I have a tendency to interpret this pile is also, spiritual matters. Things to do with our spiritual development and our spiritual path. And anytime our card shows up in this pile, it means that any problems or issues that we encounter in the coming week are things that we will be able to solve through our intuition, which I love. All right. So that said, let's go ahead and spread them out. Okay, so starting here with the Fool, we're going to count in an anti-clockwise or counterclockwise fashion around with the card counting. Fool is worth 3 as an elemental card. Starting counting the significator, we count 1, 2, 3. And our first card is the Elder of Cups. Okay, and so as a king, it is worth 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Lord. 5 of Cups is the next one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Ace of Swords. Okay, aces are worth 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wow, 3 cards. I'm going to double check that. That's unusual. So let's see. We've got the Fool. 1, 2, 3. Elders 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. That's rare. All right, 3 cards this week. 3 cards. So we have the Elder of Cups, the 5 of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. Okay, so here we are, just looking at these 3 cards together. I may pull another deck of cards, as I said before, but let's just start with these 3. The Elder of Cups is a fascinating card. The idea that we have this sort of temperance-like calm and mastery over ourselves and over our emotions, is fascinating. I feel like we're all being called this week to look at how we do that. How can we find tremendous calm, tremendous ease, and the ability to see ourselves as part of the bigger ocean. How do we stay grounded and emotionally intelligent in the wake of whatever may be here on the surface? Because I don't feel like this relates to us personally. This feels like it's more on a collective level. It feels as though there is something that's going to come about this week. Let's just say that this will be a work-related situation, because that really is what it feels like. Some kind of a work-related situation that we are not necessarily directly involved in. Again, I can't tell you why I feel that way. It's just where it's coming from. It doesn't feel personal to us. But it feels like there's something coming at work, or in our career, work lives, the lives where we really kind of express our purpose and intent, that is a little bit broken, where we may be looking at 2 sides to a particular issue, where we're dealing with one side that is standing firmly in their opinion and in their perspective about things, and one that is saying, no, things are broken. There isn't a collective response or reaction to it. I mean, I know this is going way more intuitive than what I usually necessarily do. It feels like that, but the 5 of Cups this week it's different. I don't know how else to put this, but it doesn't It does not mean what we think it means. Yeah, or what it usually seems to represent. This feels to me like we're holding, the fish is in, this Elder of Cups is holding the space in the river here in a dispute that's highly charged, highly emotional, where at least one of the sides involved feels like this is an all or nothing decision to be made. And the other side of things, looking at it, is saying like, we're not giving up our position on this. It may be the minority. This may be the majority. We've got 3 cups here and 2 cups here. But it definitely feels to me like, like there's going to be, we may find ourselves, a lot of us may find ourselves in the middle of that dispute, needing to hold space for both sides. Even if we are ones who might normally be tempted to take a particular side, whether it's here or here. But I think in our best interests, it looks to me as though that's the space that we're dealing with, where we actually find that we're going to have to be the adults in the room in the coming week in order to help this resolve itself. It's going to require us with this Ace of Swords to have a very clear mind, to hold a very clear mind space that's fair, balanced, gentle. How we wield a sword, it can make all the difference. It can make all the difference in conflict management. But holding a clear mind, seeing both sides to a situation, and being willing to be fair, genuinely balanced, but very clear-headed as you approach things is going to be helpful. Now, that is why I feel like we really do need another couple of cards here. So I'm going to pull out our 5-cent tarot, because really it belongs to all of us. If I read with it here, it's for all of us to appreciate. So I'm going to just ask the deck for a card to start with that will help us better understand the Elder of Cups. Wow, so we have the Page of Matches. Page of Matches. Fascinating. Okay, so it gave us another face card for working with that Elder of Cups. I'm going to choose another one here for the 5 of Cups. Okay, this one came out with the Page of Cups, which is so funny. So we've got the Page of Cups is going to help us understand this one, or how to be with it. All right, we just want another one to help us understand this, further understand the Ace of Swords. Okay, 3 cards came flying out of the deck and went across the room for this Ace of Swords. So for the Ace of Swords, we ended up with the Hermit. We have the 4 of Cups, and which I like the meaning for, and we have Responsibility from the Knight of Buttons here. Okay, so we'll get into that in a little more depth in a second, but let's start first by looking at this combination of, the Elder of Cups. So if we're being the grown-ups in the room, it's interesting then to get the Page of Matches. But the Page of Matches, these keywords offer us quite a bit here, and I love that. It also has a compass. It also has a compass. When I see a compass, and where's my compass? I think it might still be my tarot bag. I usually carry a little compass with me and have it sitting here on my desk. I have all my cards and a bunch of stuff still packed up in my tarot diaper bag because I was doing some readings on Friday, and Saturday, and I don't have it unpacked. But anyway, this, it's just wonderful. So when I see a compass, it always reminds me of having a strong moral compass to navigate. And if we're navigating some deep waters, we're going to need that moral compass. By the same token, it's the coming to things with, being an elder, someone who's got all of that wisdom and experience, who's being the adult in the room. Sometimes we are best served when, and I think this is where we're coming from too with this Page of Cups, and I'll get to that, but we're best served when we're able to come to things from a beginner's mind. We are also in, we were in the wands pile this week, which would be matches in this deck. So coming to things from that place that is, at a creative, curious place where we're willing to discover what's happening. We're willing to explore what's going on, what underpins everything, and we're being led by our moral compass as we do that is going to be very, very helpful in navigating all of this, right? We've got some navigation to do. We're navigating some pretty deep waters. I like this idea of the match and the page because it's also kind of reminds me of taking, a flare, something that's bright and burns brightly into the darkness of these waters in order to see things more clearly, right? In order to really know what's there, we have to be willing to see it more clearly and explore that with some open-mindedness. Okay, so there's that. Here's our situation, right? Here's our situation. This is how we need to be, and we need to be that way about this, okay? And we are still in the deep. We're in the deep waters. This time we've got the Page of Cups, which is such a fascinating card in this deck. But again, applying a beginner's mind to this, what is it what's really going on here? What's at the heart of what's happening with the people on either side of this dispute? And it may not be as open as this, right? It may not be an open conflict, right? A lot of times at work or between folks or in offices, there's nobody actually comes out and says what they're mad about, right? They're not direct. A lot of it winds up being indirect. And water is frequently indirect. Here we see it flowing in a particular direction, but it still has to be indirect enough to go around the boulders and around the rocks. So things may be very fishy, not to make a pun there or get too lighthearted, but there's a fish there too. But things may be a little bit fishy. They might need a little bit more exploration. So as we approach this conflict and this circumstance, which is largely emotional and is about people's needs, I really want to make it clear that doesn't mean that the conflict is less important. It's often the case that management in large companies will say to themselves and to others that if it's just a matter of personalities and people not getting along, it's really not a big deal. It's not about the bottom line. You can always find more people. You can always find more workers. That is one of the most, frankly, morally bankrupt ways of approaching any kind of work or any kind of situation involving people. I've watched that be the case in every university that I've ever taught at. Where this was really the approach. Oh, well, it's just people being overly emotional or overly dramatic. But when you think about it, all of us spend so much of our lives invested in our work and invested in the people with whom we work. So resolving those conflicts peacefully and in a way that includes everyone and offers space for everyone to be known, heard, validated, and ultimately just respected is crucial. And folks, I'm going to say that if this is you, on some level, you're going to need this week to hold this kind of dynamic, mature, emotionally intelligent space in order to manage with work. It will dominate clearly a lot of the week. And the Page of Cups tells us to approach these situations and moments with curiosity. Who's here? What is it that they need? Not only curiosity, but vulnerability, which to me is about an open heart. Intuitively, what are we getting from the situation? What kinds of possibilities are there? You know, can we come to this with a beginner's mind, a gentle, open heart, and a willingness simply to listen? You know? Yeah. And then finally, we have our Ace of Swords over here. And the Ace of Swords kind of puts us in the, you know, it's going to tell us that in order to get this clarity of mind, we're going to need to introvert and search our souls a little bit. We're going to need to get away from the situation in order to rediscover that inner light that we have. Interestingly, you know, if you're not a meditator or a contemplator, this might be the moment to try it, you know, of just closing your eyes and breathing and feeling into your body a little bit. Because taking that pause is going to put us back in touch with our intuition, right? Because remembering that this week, if we're in the wands pile, it's our intuition that's going to help us to solve problems. And in order to be able to know what's happening, we need to have a clear mind. We need to have our mind pinpointed and focused. So what do we need to do in order to do that? We need to engage in some serious, well, this is great. I like soul searching. That works. But, you know, a little bit of alone time, a little bit of questioning ourselves, you know, self-discovery. I would say just being willing to hold ourselves to account as we look at the situation and really think through what's happening there. You know, and some contemplation, you know, retreat, get away from things. And really, I'm going to say too, be careful that that doesn't turn into apathy and detachment, right? Can we accept what's happening at work, what's happening with that situation, how people feel without it needing to overwhelm us in any way? Because, interestingly here, what we're going to need to do to move forward is to be responsible, right? I love this Knight of Buttons. It's really the Knight of Pentacles, right? We're going to need to have some patience. We're going to need to be steady, calm, relaxed, grounded, you know, and ultimately focused. Okay, so that's where we are for this week. Let's pull a messenger card to accompany this. I'm glad I chose animals because now I'm using an animal deck here. I will go ahead and shuffle the deck and come back with a card. Okay, so I pulled two cards. I pulled this eagle and these two ravens or crows. I think they're crows. Bird medicine here. Lots of birds. Let's see. We have bird in that matches card. Okay, that's our only bird. Everything else is from the ocean. Which makes sense with all those cups. Let's just see what we have here. What's number 34? Oh, wow. Okay, so 34 is Freedom the Eagle. So she says the art of detachment is a powerful tool for finding wisdom and clarity in any situation. Becoming detached does not mean that you do not care. It is just the opposite. This is the place where the eagle resides. Oh, this place where the eagle resides, there is space to see the bigger picture, and it empowers you to act from a place of truth and love. No matter what is occurring around you and in your life, there is always a different perspective available. You only need to ask the universe for it and be open to it. From there, any action that you take is inspired by the truth of your soul and will resonate with everything around you at the soul level. Even though the eagle is soaring high in the clouds, it is still able to focus on detail. The difference is that now it sees the bigger picture, and it can be more discerning about what it chooses to focus its vision on. That is amazing. Okay, so that absolutely matches up with what we've got here with our Ace of Swords, right? The Ace of Swords, the need to get some space in order to send this eagle, you know, sort of up into the sky to look at the bigger picture for us. You know, we've got to take that space in order to create that for ourselves. And then we have, what else do we have? I always end up making such a joyful mess here. 38. So what is 38 in this book? Oh, compassion. All right. So 38. It's 2 ravens and it's compassion. Compassion is like an elixir that can heal the deepest of suffering. We are all the same in that we are all human with deep feelings, even if it does not appear that way on the surface. There is always room for more compassion in any situation or relationship. With compassion comes the healing energy of grace and non-judgment. When we have compassion for ourselves, we have compassion for others, and sometimes we have to experience something and forgive ourselves before we can have compassion for others in a similar situation. When we can have compassion for our mistakes, then we begin the healing process for ourselves and for everyone. With compassion still comes boundaries. We can love others unconditionally and still choose to keep healthy boundaries for ourselves. As I look into the eyes of another, I see myself reflected back. What a beautiful message. Oh my gosh. So this is absolutely in harmony with the first half of this reading, right? Is that if we can start our week by embodying that sense of compassion, you know, there's warmth inside this cold water and space. And there's openness and a willingness to see and look deeply at what's happening. This is going to help us with regards to managing this kind of a situation, right? It's asking us to view it from a place, from a place that holds boundaries, but is also able to see what's happening with others. What a beautiful reading. Oh my goodness. Wow. All right, my friends. So be empowered as you go into the week this week. Know that you're going to be able to see things well, to see them compassionately. You know, that some space and distance is going to help you stay in that compassionate place. And, you know, move forward from that intention. And I wish all of you, as always, the most beautiful week moving forward. Take care, and I will see you next time. Bye.